Hi everyone, how we doing? Week 3. This is day 2 for Culinary 121. We're going to go over some stuff today, but first, remember your assignments. Remember your project. I mean, it all needs to be complete. You guys are really behind it. A lot of you are behind. So you need to get on it. You need to stay on the participation, your attendance. You know, you need to log in every class day. Okay, please do that. Your grade depends on it. All right, and a lot of you are way behind in points for attendance. All right, so thank you for all the texts and emails. And my back's doing better. Still, I got a big pad behind me. I blew it out on Monday. Not a good thing, especially when you sneeze. So today we're going to go over PowerPoints on PowerPoint 7 for chapter 7, that is, and that's about getting ready for production. And with that being said, we're going to get into it right now. And I'm going to get this to the big screen. And all right, so getting ready for production, forecasting is a big thing. So in your restaurant that you're devising right now, how many guests are going to be served? How many items are they going to be eating? How much revenue are you supposed to be getting in a certain time period? How much, are you going to do in the morning shift? How much you're going to do in the afternoon shift? It's very, very important that you learn this. How do you start it off? It's in sales trends. What did you do last year? What did you do last quarter? What did you do last month? What did you do last week? What did you do on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday? You need to find out how many people are supposed to come into your restaurant. All right. Current sales trends. Well, what's the current sales trends right now for your restaurant? You're probably closed, or you're on a limited deal with takeout orders and to-go orders, right? Curbside. That's a huge thing that nobody foresaw. All right, then you have future sales trends. How's that going to work out? We're getting ready to open up here in Georgia, and you're going to have that 6 foot of distance. People sitting at a table, at a 4 top, at a 6 top. Maximum people at a table is supposed to be 6. All right, you're supposed to have 10 people per 500 square feet of a restaurant. And you got to tell me about that one. But on the 4 people or 6 people at a table, officially, you're supposed to come in the same car, or you're the same family you've been spending time with. So you figure that out with your guests coming to your restaurant. You have a table for 6, and there's 3 different couples. You think they came in the same car? Well, you're not going to say, I'm sorry, I can't serve you. But this is the future, right? The future of the sales. So you have to figure that one out. So the historical sale trends, prior to sales, average sales, per day, per 5 days, and it has to be the same days, right? You can't do Tuesday, Wednesday, and then Thursday, Friday of that 1 week. You have to make sure it's the Tuesday of the week before, the week before, the week before. Every Tuesday's the same, every Wednesday's the same, every Thursday's the same. Well, unless you're going to go as a whole week. If you're going for a whole week, then you compare this week over last week over the previous week, all right? So, you're doing months sales, you're doing year sales, actual sales, same day last year. I mean, it's very important. If you don't have these trends, saying like you're opening up a brand new restaurant. What I did at the restaurants that I opened, during the opening process, I went to other restaurants around the community where I was living, where I was setting up the restaurant. I did this for Hard Rock Cafe, Longhorn Steakhouse, I did it for Alfredo's, the original of Rome, and Drafts. I've done that for Westgate Resorts. And what we did is I went to other restaurants and I said, hi, my name's Peter. I'm the new restaurant in town. And sometimes they would say, sorry, I can't help you. And other times they said, oh, nice to meet you. And do you have any questions? I said, yes. What are our busy times? Is it Christmas? Is it New Year's? Is it Thanksgiving? And they'll tell you, we have busy weekends. We don't have busy weekends. And that's what you get from going to other restaurants. And it's fun because you get to meet them. You know, you get to meet the other people. So you got to figure out what the current trends are, weather conditions, sporting events, concerts, festivals. When I was living in Orlando, you know, it's all about Disney and Universal and Wet n Wild and SeaWorld, and we're pretty well busy all the time. And during the holidays, we're really busy, and in the summer, we're crushed. When I was working at the Hard Rock Cafe in St. Thomas in the Virgin Islands, it was all around the cruise ship industry. So during the winter, we're packed, we're jamming. We had 4 to 8 different cruise ships every day coming in. So it would go from, you know, about 10,000 more people would come in every day onto the island, roughly 10 grand. You know, so, and then during the summer, nothing. Hurricane season, nobody comes in. Maybe a ship would come in, or 2 ships a week would come into St. Thomas. So you have to figure those out. Concerts, what we're doing at the Pinnacle Club, when we have the Miller Theater, when they have a big event, when the symphony's playing, we get crushed at the Pinnacle Club. You know, so you got to figure out all the festivals and the events, you know, the Christmas parade, St. Patrick's Day parade, Mother's Day is at Mother's Day, that's coming up. Restaurants are busy. Easter, we missed Easter. You know, it's a big thing that you have to forecast. You know, when does Christmas fall on? What day does Christmas fall on? You know, yes, it's the 25th of December, I know that, but it changes the day. Is it during the middle of the week? Is it a Friday? Is it a Sunday? Is it a Tuesday? That depends on what everybody's going out and doing it. You know, Easter is always on a Sunday, so, and you can worry about that as just the Easter brunch. Same with Mother's Day. Mother's Day is always on a Sunday. You know, Thanksgiving is always on a Thursday. But Christmas is a big one. 4th of July is another one. What day does that fall on is huge. You know, when people are going out. You know, planning promotions, changing operating hours. You have to figure that too. When are you open? When are you closed? Are you going to be open for special events? Say you're closed on Sundays and Mondays, but you know, it's Mother's Day and maybe you do a special brunch. It's Easter, you do a special brunch. Christmas is open, or Christmas 4th of July is on a Monday or on a Sunday. Maybe you're going to be open for that, or you're closed. You know, so you have to figure all this down. It has to be written down in your forecast plan. Excuse me. And purchasing. Then you have to purchase. So you figure out what you're going to be doing. You have to purchase everything. For us at Eggers, we use Cisco Food Service. We do U.S. Foods also and Cheney Brothers for specialty items, but the majority of it comes out of Cisco. For Pinnacle Club, I do Cisco and I use Fresh Market or Fresh Point, which is bringing in my produce, a lot of Georgia grown produce I bring in through Fresh Point. I use Inland Seafood. They bring a lot of Georgia coastal fish to me, the shrimp, the halibut. A lot of seafood coming off of the Georgia coast, out of Savannah. So, but I use all that out of one purchasing unit. So you got to figure that out. Purchasing, what are your goals? What's the right quality? What's the right quantity? What's the right supplier? What's the right price? What time are they arriving? It's a nightmare with these guys sometimes when they say, oh, you're a morning delivery between 8 and 11, and they're showing up at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm like, hey, that's not how it works. So you have to be really tight with your purveyors. When I talk to my salespeople from all the purveyors, I want them to be a part of my company. I want them to support us. I want them to be a member of our restaurant. I'll invite them in for lunch. I'll invite them in for dinner. This is, you know, your product is coming out on these plates. I want to get a really nice relationship with them so they can help me out down the road. They will help you out as long as you're ready to help them out. All right, so, but you have to let them know the quality, the quantity, the price, and the timing, okay? You have to have specifications. You know, I want ketchup. Okay, be more specific. I want bottled ketchup. Okay. I want Heinz bottle ketchup. Okay. What else do you want? No, I just want Heinz bottle ketchup. So do you want the glass bottle? Do you want the plastic bottle? Do you want the plastic clear bottle? Do you want the plastic red bottle? Do you want the bottle that inverts? I mean, there's all this specific stuff you need to do. It's just ketchup. No, but you have to be very specific, right? And that's the big thing that you have to do. You know, you want chocolate chips. All right, it's the first chocolate chip that comes to your mind. Nestle's, to me. Nestle's, the Toll House cookies, you know, right? Those chocolate chips. Well, if you're not specific, they're gonna give you chocolate chips. It's just a brand name, and they'll give it to you. All right, so whatever you want, like I want Budweiser beer. Well, how many different types of Budweiser are there? How many styles? Just even just the regular Budweiser, you got bottle, can, what size bottles, what size cans? You know, are they returnables? Are they, you know, all that kind of stuff just for your liquor. I mean, you gotta think about that. I want vodka. Well, what kind of vodka do you want? All right, so you have to be very specific on all you buy. And with that, you need the product name, what the cost is, what the grade is, and what it comes in. So you need, let me see, kidney beans, all right, in a can. So usually kidney beans in a can either come 6 number 10 cans, real big cans are called number 10s, or they'll come in the small 24, 2.5, number 2.5 can. So the real small ones that you get at the supermarket, or you want the real big ones. So you have to be specific on that in the case lot, right? You know, the product specification again, you want to make sure that you got to give them a little bit of leeway for them to purchase that product for you. So romaine lettuce, making sure it's green, making sure it's fresh. You know, you don't want dirty romaine lettuce. You don't want rotted romaine lettuce. You want it nice, bright green. You want the geographic location. I want it from continental United States. You know, and you got to make sure you let your service reps know that, or in your specification, it's going to be used for our Caesar salad and our green jacket salad. All right, so when you're ready to do this, you're going to have your recipe ready, right? In the form of all the ingredients that are prepared to add to this recipe. So you need all the ingredients. Let me step back. So the recipe development that you guys did already, right? You had your menu items, then you had a recipe for that menu item, and then you wrote all the ingredients out when you costed it, correct? All right, you did that. So with that, every menu item or every ingredient on that recipe has to have a specification for it. What? Yeah, it has to have a specification. So if you're making, you know, I don't know, 1,000 Allen dressing, you're gonna need to make sure you have the mayonnaise. You're gonna need to have the ketchup. You're gonna need to have to do the relish, pickle relish, or are you gonna actually dice up pickles? You need Worcestershire sauce. You need salt and pepper. You know, so all one of those items need to be very specific on what you want. So to get a product yield percentage, we're going to get into product yield for purchasing. So you're going to have your ending product amount, edible portion, beginning product amount, as purchased will give you a product yield. All right, so as purchased AP, right, as purchased minus a yield percent will give you a product loss. So the amount of the product, AP weight, so you're buying a 50-pound bag of flour, all right, but you're only using, you know, 8 ounces or 6 ounces, you're making a roux, and that's your edible right there. Say you're bringing in a whole tenderloin, a whole beef tenderloin, Georgia grown beef. You know, you're bringing in a 7-pound tenderloin. Are you able to cut steaks right off of that? No, you have to peel all that off. So you're gonna have waste on that. So you have to check all that out too. So AP amount, edible portion amount, times your yield percentage will give you your edible portion amount. So going through these, you've gone through this before, all right? This is nothing new for you. All right. Inventory management, the product that you need, product that you have on board is the amount to buy. So if you have mayonnaise, you got Duke's mayonnaise, You got 3 gallons of Duke's mayonnaise. You need 5 gallons. So that means you need 2, you need to purchase 2. But it's going to cost you more to open up a case and only take 2 out. So how many gallons of mayonnaise come in a case? It's 4. So you'll probably order another case because your price will stay lower. You know, they might be able to give you a broken case price. Sometimes they can't. So you have to talk to your purveyor about that. Inventory. So bringing it in, receiving. Who's going to be receiving all this product? Is it yourself? Do you train somebody that knows how to receive? It's not just about having somebody come in the door, drop it off, and let them leave. You have to check in that product. You have to make sure everything that's on that invoice has walked into the door. Trust me, it happens. Not that they do it on purpose, but they'll miss something. And it won't be on that. And then you're going to be looking for that mayonnaise that you ordered. It said it was on the invoice, and you're looking at all the product that came in, and it's not there. So you have to check everything in. You have to make sure all the fish is cold. You have to make sure all the meat is cold. You make sure all the dairy is cold. You don't want hot product, right, coming out of that because it's all rotten. It'll be gone. So you have to be very careful with that. You have to have a receiving area. Where are you going to put everything? Do you have scales for that? Do you weigh everything out? Do you have Lexans and stuff so you can put everything directly right into those Lexans so you can store them? You know, scales. I mean, it's huge. Do you have gloves? Do you have markers, clipboards, all that, you know? So you got to maintain the food safety standards, maintain the quality level, you know, and if there's a product delivery issue, you need to get on the phone and talk to your rep. I mean, this is very important. People, why not let the dishwasher do it? Well, if the dishwasher's not trained, then he's not going to know what to look for, and he's just going to sign the paper and like, yeah, we got an order and it left. You know, we're lucky at Helms College that you have David in the back. He's our receiver and purchaser, and he comes in early in the morning and brings in and all the orders are coming in, and he's in charge of that, which is awesome. You know, I used to do that when I used to volunteer to come in early on days, on order days, and I would be the receiver, you know, because the chef didn't want to come in that early. So I would volunteer to do it. I would come in and get that order done and get it all put away and set up. And, you know, the chef appreciated my help. And plus I got some extra hours and I got extra money for it. So, but you have to have somebody that's qualified through your training that they know what to do to receive product, okay? All right, so you have to compare compare the delivery invoice to your purchase order or to your charts. All right, confirm if the product is good, sign the invoice, move the product to storage. All right, that's huge, huge thing. All right, so you have dry storage, refrigerated storage, frozen storage. You gotta make sure the temperatures are there. You make sure everything is clean and tight. All right, very important on your storage thing. The physical inventory system is a big one. We're lucky with David. He's the purchaser, and he does inventory for Helms College, he does inventory for Eggers, and he does inventory for me at the Pinnacle Club. So he's a busy man every week because we do a weekly inventory. Yep, every week we do an inventory, not once a month. Once a month when you do an inventory, it's too late. If you miss something in the beginning of the month, you have another 4 weeks that have gone by of that mistake and you haven't caught it, you catch it at the end, and then it's going into the next month inventory. So that's not a good plan. At least once a week, please do it. Once you get it down, it's a pretty simple way of doing it. Everything has to be organized, everything has to be tight on all the racks, all the shelves, everything's neat, clean, and it's easy to count, all right? So a physical inventory is important. A perpetual inventory is another thing. So I do a perpetual inventory for my liquor. All right, my liquor, beer and wine. And this is when I do a bottle for bottle. So if they have an empty bottle of rum at the bar and they want a new bottle of rum, they have to bring me that empty bottle and we swap it off. So I have an empty bottle, I give them a new bottle. And when they take that new bottle, I have an inventory sheet in the liquor room and I check off, right? I check off that they took a bottle. So I had 12 bottles of rum, they took one gone, all right? So now I have 11. They come in again the next day, they need 2 more, they give me 2 empty bottles, there's 11 on the shelf, they take 2 away, you have 9 bottles. Right? So that's a perpetual inventory when you keep on reducing that. But you still need to do a physical inventory a week or a month. It all depends on how you do it. But even though you do a perpetual inventory system, you still need to do a physical inventory with that. Okay? So how do you issue everything? We just talked about that. Usually for us, we just go into the walk-in, we grab product, your lemons, your limes, your tomatoes, your lettuce, whatever you need, just go into the walk-in. You need stuff out of dry storage, you just go to the dry storage, you knock that out. You know, it's an easy thing to do. But when you're in a hotel, or say a cruise ship, all right, on a cruise ship or a hotel, they have storage managers, and those guys, you put in a request. You have to request, write everything down the day before, what you need. You send that request in, they're gonna have a cart ready for you to pick up, or they're gonna bring that cart to you with everything that you wanted. If you miss something, you're gonna have to go through the whole process again. All right, so you don't go in the walk-in storage rooms, you don't go into the areas down there, they bring that product to you, right? These are hotels, big hotels, and like cruise ships, when I worked on cruise ships. All right, so it's important that you have a par stock with that, but it's a big thing. I mean, that PowerPoint is huge, you know. The other one I want to go over is managing revenue. All right, we want to go over managing revenue. And we'll get rid of that. So this is chapter 12 PowerPoint. Pretty much what we're going to be going over that you're going to need to know for your week 3 project. All right, your week 3 project, and make sure we get this going. You have to do a marketing strategy, staffing and labor cost summary, which the labor and staffing is right on your in the syllabus and on the PowerPoints right there. And then we're going to go over managing revenue right now. So chapter 12, managing revenue, total revenue, guest check average, revenue variance. I mean, these are things that you need to get into. Being a chef is one thing. Learning, I mean, it was really easy to me to cook, organize a kitchen, get the inventory system set up, you know, making all the shelves are good. The other thing is I used to do sheet to shelf. So my inventory, if it says, you know, mayonnaise is at the top, well, mayonnaise would be that first thing on the shelf right there. And ketchup was second, ketchup's right next to the mayonnaise. And I would have it called sheet to shelf. So you're not like mayonnaise. Oh, and you're looking at mayonnaise is around here somewhere. Oh, there it is down here. And then, oh, ketchup. Ketchup is over here. And you're going all over the place. If you do it sheet to shelf, your inventory is going to go really quick. Right? So with that, it was pretty simple. I really had to force myself to get into the numbers. All right? And this is what's critical with you all is this Helms College degree. You're getting into this. You're getting into some basic accounting. This is huge. This means a lot to a lot of your restaurateurs and the people that you're going to be interviewing with. If you know a little bit about numbers, they're going to love that. Okay? So you're looking at indicators. You're looking at your food revenue, your beverage revenue, other revenue. You know, t-shirts, merchandise is huge. You know, maybe you're selling off-site product. Maybe you're doing barbecue sauces or your grandma's jam recipe. You're selling that. I mean, that's other revenue besides your food and your liquor, beer, and wine. All right, so revenue, total revenue, revenue divided by total revenue is your contribution percentage. So if you're looking at revenue from food divided by total revenue, say it's 60%. Liquor, beer, and wine revenue divided by total revenue will be 40%. So it's a 60-40 split. That's usually how it works on good restaurants. It's usually 60% food, 40% liquor, beer, and wine. Sometimes it's the other. If you're in a really bar crowd, it's going to be you know, the beer, the liquor is going to be 60% and the food is going to be 40. You get a better profit on the liquor, beer, and wine than you do on food. Check averages. So whatever the guest is, so there's the total check came out to $50 for 2 people. Right, so you divide that by 2, that $50 by 2, so that's $25 per head. All right, you're gonna have to figure out how much money, when that guest walks through the door, they should have a price tag above their head. And in that price tag right there, that dollar sign when they walk in, it should say $32, or for lunch, $17, or whatever you're gonna, in the bakery, maybe it's, you know, $25. You want each individual walking into to your establishment, they need to spend X amount of dollars. Now, how's that gonna happen? That's gonna happen with your menu, the way you laid out your menu, and how you priced everything on your menu. All right, so here we go with menu analysis, determining food cost, determining the markup, establishing your baseline. You know, just because it cost you $5 to cook a steak with vegetables and the starch on it, does that mean you're charging $5? All right, no. All right, say you and I have 2 restaurants, okay? My restaurant was handed down to me from my parents. Everything was bought for, the land's bought, the building's bought for. I just have to run it now, it's mine. And I got a $5 cost steak. You have a brand new restaurant, it's gorgeous, it's beautiful, and your steak costs $5 too. And I want to sell my steak for $15. So I'm going to sell my steak for $15. So you came across and you saw me, hey Peter, nice restaurant, I'm opening across the street. Hey, nice to meet you. How much you selling your steak for? I'm selling mine for $15. Oh, okay. Are you going to sell yours for $15? If you sell yours for $15, are you going to be making money or losing money? What do you think? Well, remember, I don't have any overhead with mortgage or rent, right? My building's paid for. You, on the other hand, have a brand new mortgage and building that you have to pay for. So just in that example, you can't charge the same amount of money I'm charging, right? So you have to be very careful on how you do this. So you have to determine what the contribution margin is going to be for that menu item that you're selling. All right, contribution margin. This is what it is. So your cost is $5. I sold the steak for $15. You take the difference, subtract it, so you have $10. That's your contribution margin. That $10 is going in, you say profit, right? Well, it's not profit, because what do you have to do with that $10? Well, you have to pay for labor. You have to pay for uniforms. You have to pay for the electric. I got tablecloth right here. You got to pay for the tablecloth, right? And there's all these different things you have to pay for. Marketing, insurance, all these overheads. And I'm telling you, there's so many overheads. It's crazy on the profit and loss statement when you look at it. So you have to figure out what that contribution margin is going to do that's going to help you along to make that profit. And to be honest with you, after everything is said and done, I sold a steak for $15, right? I did a steak for $15, and I'll be lucky if I get a nickel. I'll be lucky if I get 5 cents profit after everything is said and done. All right, so you have to be very careful when you're pricing out your items and making sure you have a good contribution margin, okay? And that's where you get into how much items are you selling? What's your best seller? What's not your best seller? And that's what we come into traditional names that are assigned to menus. Your plow horse, right? Which is everybody wants a burger. Everybody's good. Everybody loves the burger. You're always going to be selling that burger. You do a Georgia surf and turf. You have Georgia beef with Georgia shrimp, and that's your surf and turf, and that's the star. So you sell enough of those, people really enjoy it, all right? But then you have the dog, right? The dog it doesn't sell at all. Maybe it's a veggie burger. Maybe it's liver and onions. Maybe it's something that's not very popular, or maybe it is popular, but nobody understands it because it's got some kind of funky name to it that scares people off. And that's where the puzzle comes in. So you have your plow horse, the puzzle, the dog, and the star. The puzzle is, and sometimes we're busy and selling it, and sometimes we're not. All right, so that's where you got to engineer your menu on what's doing, where and how, and how it goes for it. So your plow horse, if you're increasing, increase the price gradually and carefully because everybody likes it, but they don't want to go broke over it. All right, combining it with lower food cost items, your puzzle, high items, provide extensive menu descriptions, renaming it maybe, decreasing the item's price, maybe they'll take that. When it's a star, don't worry about anything. It's fine by itself. And then the dogs, you're gonna have to get rid of it, all right? So either you lower the price and see if it's gonna sell that way, but if it's not selling, you get rid of it. And that's what's great about seasonal menus. Every quarter, we do the menus and we get rid of the things that we don't like and we bring in more stuff. All right, so charging the guest, collecting the revenue, protecting the revenue. So how do you charge them? Name of the items, the quantity that's purchased, the price of it, sum of all the items. You calculate all this through. In the good old days, you do everything by hand. Everything was done by hand. Now we have computers, and they have awesome systems with that. So you can ring in everything, and when it's time to pay, you pay it by cash, and you ring in $100 cash, or $100 credit card, or $100 gift card, or $100, like in my restaurant, I have your mom and dad come in to eat, you're one of my cooks, they wanted to come in and see you cook, right? So mom and dad comes in to eat, I'll let you come out and talk to them, hey mom, hey dad, how you doing? This is Peter, he's the chef, he's the owner. I'll say, nice to meet you, thank you so much for allowing us to have your son, your daughter cook with us, it's wonderful. And they have dinner, and I'm gonna pick the check up. So I'm gonna take care of mom and dad's check, and what I'm gonna do with that, they're not gonna have to pay cash, you're not gonna have to use a credit card, but I will comp that out, all right? I will comp it out and I'll charge it to marketing, all right? I'll charge it to marketing or employee incentive, okay? So it's really important. So if they're paying with a credit card, you gotta make sure that expiration date is right, make sure their signature matches. You're always welcome to ask them for an ID with the credit card, especially if young kids are coming in high school age. They usually don't have credit cards at this time, but they have mom and dad's credit card. Like proms, when prom day comes, the dad will give his credit card and let them use it, and they'll usually call the restaurant and say, hey, my son's coming in, my daughter's coming in with their date. I want them to use my credit card. They have my physical credit card. Here's my name and here's the expiration date. All right, so they know. All right, try to minimize employee theft and guest theft as much as possible. Unfortunately, it happens. I trust everybody, but I still have to watch over them. So it's very easy to do voiding checks, like a server. They'll split stuff off. They'll split off a couple sodas. Well, if your sodas are you're charging sodas $3 a soda, right? And at the end of the night, they give me a check to void off and say, hey, Peter, these guys, I put too many sodas on this one check, and there's 4 sodas on there. All right, 4 times 3 is 12. I'm going to take the $12 and void that off. All right, fair enough. It's only 4 sodas, it's only $12. But what the server did, it was a cash table. So they split off those 4 sodas and told me to void it, which I voided. It's just a soda, no biggie. But they just picked up the $12 cash. So they got more money off that one table. Gotta watch them, right? Just like your cooks and servers. They think sometimes that they work there and they can have whatever they want. You have to be honest with them. You have to be straight up with them. Listen, if you're hungry, let me know. I'll feed you. All right, if you need money, let me know and I'll give you a loan. Don't steal from me, because then you go to jail. All right, it's that simple. All right, and minimizing employee theft. Just be straight up with them. You know, you do a pre-check and post-check system. Double checking on when they need a void. Say they need to void a steak. I said, what table's that? It's table 51. I said, I'll go over to table 51 and make sure they're not still eating that steak. All right, so, and tell them, if you want something voided, the guest needs to be here. All right, the guest still needs to be here to let me void it. If the guests aren't here, I'm not voiding it. That simple. All right, so that's a quick one on that. Again, work on your project. All right, forecasting is coming up, so you have staffing and labor cost summary, the marketing strategy, pre-opening, what are you gonna do for pre-opening, what are you gonna do your first week, first month, after 6 months. You need to have a marketing strategy. Pre-opening, we're gonna say every employee that works there, you can bring in 2 guests. You can ask 2 guests to come in and separate that off the days. So you have a soft opening. So the first 3 days you'll practice, and you'll have family and friends and family will come in and get a free meal, limited menu, so everything get done. So that'll be pre-opening. The first week, maybe you invite the mayor, maybe you invite the fire chief, maybe you invite the police department, maybe you invite local celebrities. Please come in and try our new menu. Right? Not that you have to give them anything, but maybe you'll give them an appetizer. Maybe you'll take half off the price. All right? Then that first month, you're into it. You're getting into the swing of things. So then you start your marketing. You know, it's hospitality night. It's senior citizen. It's, you know, whatever your marketing strategy is. Right, so you have to think about that. Right? Okay, so we'll get into that. Please get on your assignments. Please get on your project. All right? Thank you.